I don't know. What do you guys think? Dendrite said no fall damage without it. I think it promotes sloppy movement with no risk. I actually don't agree. Yes, fall damage is going to obviously punish you for making big mistakes, running into a cliff, like at the wrong angle, and you should be punished by losing speed. But when I think back to games like Tribes Ascend and how brutally punishing fall damage was in that game, if you hit like at just slightly the wrong angle. And then also, I even just played Tribes Vengeance the other day, and like fall damage is intense in that game. So personally, if I had to choose too much fall damage or zero fall damage, I'm definitely choosing zero fall damage. If I had to choose zero fall damage versus minimal fall damage, I'm frankly still not sure if I would choose fall damage, actually. Maybe a little bit, but I think losing all your momentum is like the punishment that you should get, in my opinion. Yeah. Slush says, I think they're reading feedback threads, which is reassuring. Are they though? I haven't seen any replies. I feel like I'm shouting into the void. I hope they are. Seemed good. Someone needed to be honest about the reclamation of players being hard because of the state of the game. I appreciate it, Jazz. Yeah, Dendrite. We all just want to play Tribes, man. That's it. We all just want to play Tribes. I just want to play Tribes, bro. That's it. That's all. It was fascinating because I played Tribes pre-YouTube Twitch, so my knowledge is frozen in that lack of depth from just being a gamer in that era. Never knew the subtle differences between Tribes games, and I played them all. You're probably speaking for like the majority of the Tribes community, to be honest. Me and Slush and like a lot of other people are coming from the most hardcore players that play tournaments, play pickups. The majority of Tribes players can just fucked around and shot mortars across the map. Or like, I had a friend when I was obsessed with Tribes 1 at the very peak, I had a friend who played with me, and we would play the Tribes 1 demo and just jump on Rain Dance, and he would just get in a scout and like fly it into their base. Like he would just get a scout and like fly it into their Hoff on the flag stand and then like duel people. And he fucking loved it. Like we played all the time together. He wasn't that bad, like he could duel, but you know, that was his Tribes. So it's a little different. Game is starting to feel good physics-wise, but I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like there's a lot to do other than grab and chase. The base and assets seem kind of pointless to pay attention to. Is that a bad thing? I mean, give it to the people who want to fuck around with it, but like don't make it too impactful. Like Rain Dance is like a GOAT legendary map in Tribes 1, but let's be real, that rocket turret was way too fucking gnarly, dude. That rocket turret was so gnarly. Like, that shit was a killer. Yeah. It's not bad for low numbers, but 12v12 I'd consider a size where you need other things to do other than grab and chase. That's fair. I mean, I wonder, like, our Prophecy games, are they trying to add vehicles? Are they trying to add more deployables, more all of that shit? Before this last beta, or this last playtest, I would have basically been like, nah, I'm good. But 12v12 didn't feel bad. I wonder if they can go 16 versus 16 or 32 versus 32, because that's maybe not the game that I want to play, but that might be Tribes' best opportunity at reaching a large audience. I look at games like BattleBit as kind of an example of how you can build a fairly hardcore shooter. You know, it's basically what Battlefield should have been all of these years, 64 versus 64, giant fucking maps, but still have it be so fun to play, even if you're a total scrub and a casual, because you just queue up with your buddies, man. Like, I played so much BattleBit for the first 2 weeks that it came out because I had a large friend group that was playing and we could just jump on every night. So I wonder if Ascend. I wonder if Tribes 3 could ever be that, where you have 32 versus 32, or fuck, even 64. Give me a giant fuck you map and just like, you know, I think that's why like APCs were so fun back in the day, because you and your homies just jump in a vehicle and like fuck shit up. I love the thought of 32 versus 32. That's how I remember Tribes when I first started, and it's what got me hooked. Amen, Slush. I feel you. That is, when I think of the most nostalgic Tribes, that's the Tribes I think of. But also, there's a reason we've been like playing so much mid-air in pickups. Like, I love the skill expression of 5v5. I love it. It's so fun. It's so tight. Every single player matters so much. And, you know, that obviously that goes away big time. when you're like 32 versus 32. And half the people are just fucking off somewhere random in the map. I don't know. There's a lot of people who want 5v5 or 7 versus 7, but when you see 7,000 plus people in the Discord, you got to think of all the people who don't. 100%. And probably that's the majority of people in the Discord are people who don't want hardcore. Probably the vast majority. Like, I think if you did a poll in the Discord right now, what would you prefer, 5v5 or 12v12? I mean, there's a bit of a bias because 12v12 was way better in this playtest for a lot of reasons, but I think the majority of people think of Tribes as that big team versus team game that it was back in the day. Imagine if the game just had twice as much jet. It would just be so much more satisfying and fun to play almost instantly. I feel like the maps might feel too small. That would make the game so much better. I think my biggest issue though, is how band-aidy and weird the physics feel. Like, it just doesn't... Quake is great because once you learn strafe jumping and how to get around a map, you're never surprised by anything. You know, everything is just consistent. And I don't want Tribes to be a game where, like, if I jet while standing still, it's different than if I jet while moving fast. I don't want to have rage as a perk, as the only viable way to chase. That was what bugged me the most about Tribes Ascend, and it feels like it's the same kind of thing in this game where the physics by themselves don't allow you to go fast enough, or don't allow you, you know, in Tribes Ascend, you couldn't go, like, routing in Tribes Ascend without disc jumps was terrible. So you had to disc jump twice and regen your health to do a good route. Chasing in Tribes Ascend was impossible because one disc jump alone just didn't do enough, so they had to add the rage perk. Every other Tribes game, except for Ascend and Tribes 3, there were core mechanics that were predictable, repeatable, that allowed you to do all of these things. Maps got to size up a bit, and if you're going 5v5, they got to get smaller. Yeah, like the Katabatic map feels maybe too big for 5v5. I would say the Dry Dock map definitely doesn't feel too big, in my opinion. I also really don't like the terrain. The terrain is not good in my opinion, is not great on any of the maps. Like, it just doesn't allow for that much creativity and freedom of expression in terms of routing. But that's also a tricky one though, because I think there could be a Tribes or Tribes-esque game that's in a very, very small arena that takes a lot more inspiration from like Quake movement or even Rocket League as an example. Like, I think there could be a version of Tribes which is highly condensed. This is a deep cut, but if anyone watched Battle Angel Alita or ever read the manga or watched the anime, there's a game that they do called Rollerball. I forget what it's called. But you basically have like skates on, and there's all these half pipes and shit, and somebody has a ball, and like, I feel like there could be a Tribes that's in a much, much smaller arena where you have a lot more weight, and you're like curving and skiing and carving all across these bowls. And I really, really think Rocket League has shown me more than ever that kind of really tight gameplay could be fucking sick, honestly. But at least in its, you know, that's not possible in this game, because if you're going really fast and you need to change your momentum, you're kind of shit out of luck. Like in Tribes 1, if you're going really fast, but you see even just a single vertex in the terrain that works for you, you can hit that vertex and change your momentum. Midair works like that to an extent. Tribes Vengeance had the grapple hook. But in Tribes Ascend, as well as Tribes 3, if you're going super fast, you can't really use the terrain to change your momentum substantially like you could in previous games. Slush says, I feel like everyone's running the same 2 to 3 routes when previously had their own routes that they created. And yeah, I mean, even on the 12v12 map, dude, there's how many hills are there? There's very few options. So you're not going to even have opportunities to come up with your own creative routes because there's only so many hills that you can even use at all. Yeah, and in midair, you can hit a dip and completely change direction, 100%. Midair is like, let's be real, midair is basically Tribes 1 physics, but like more forgiving. My problem with T3 is once you slowed down to duel, you were stuck there. Tribes Ascend was the same exact way. Same exact shit. Overall, there's still a solid foundation to build a game on. Yes. I am a little bit worried about the engine itself. We already had cheaters in the first playtest. That's bad. Also, everything started to get really wonky with the bigger servers. Like, I know Slush had a lot of FPS issues. People with shitty ping were just warping around. I wonder how sophisticated Prophecy's like back-end architecture team is, because I mean, if I were to start from scratch on a Tribes game, I would focus on the engine and the physics like exclusively for like a very, very long time. If you don't nail the physics and the engine doesn't feel good, then it's gonna be tough, especially in these bigger, like, especially if we're doing 12v12, 32 versus 32. It's got to be fucking consistent. So I mean, the gameplay was fun. I had a good time. I had a blast, especially when the games were good and there was like good players on both teams. But you know, the non-regs were just too much, too often. The warping was too severe with people with shit ping. So yeah, like there's so much optimization that needs to happen for me to feel like the foundation itself is solid. But yeah, I mean, for those of you that are joining more recently, like I will say, like as much as I have ranted against the band-aidy fixes, I do think the instant boost that you get when skiing is really good. Like when I went back and played a midair pickup after the last alpha test or whatever it was called, I was like, oh man, like when you first spawn, I kind of missed having that little boost. So that was nice. I don't know if this is just me. Maybe I'm just a boomer, but I kind of hate the fact that there's like 10 different disc launchers. That's funny timing with your comment, Dendrite. What did you think of the Honor Fuser? Personally, I think it should be removed, at least lest it become the new meta. The Honor Fuser in general was like wildly overpowered. I played a game where Izza was heavy on flag on the opposite team, and he just mid-aired me every single time I went into the flag, and it's a one-shot kill for lights. That was brutal. I don't really think we need 5 different disc launchers. I think give me like weapon variety is fine. In fact, you're seeing me use this pistol. I think it was underpowered, but it was really fun to use. It's like a single shot chain gun. I'm all for weapon variety, but like I don't know why we need 6 different disc launchers. That was really weird to me. Do I hear T2 music? Yeah, I played the Tribes 1 music first, and then it ended. The OST was over, so I had to play Tribes 2. Man, my gameplay looks so much cooler with music behind it. Shit. Look at me miss all those fucking shots. Damn. The auto rifles in Ascend. Yeah. At least there's no overpowered sniper rifle in this game. That was so annoying in Tribes Ascend. I think Greth did a good video about how every map in this game has like every hill like ends at the same point. There's like there's no valleys. I think that's 100% right. Even on this map that has way more hills than all the other maps combined. Like, it would be nice to have some deeper valleys to ski into. Bro, look at that fucking heavy armor just destroys light armor. You have no chance. No chance. I don't really mind giving people options, but maybe the KISS method to give people inheritance slider on Spin Fuser and then Honor Fuser with an inheritance slider. Dude, the fact that there's a slider on how your jets work is absolutely crazy to me. That is a wild thought. I don't know how, I guess I haven't thought about it enough in terms of like whether I like it or not, but it's just like, oh yeah, let's let people tweak with a variable, a core central mechanic to the entire game. That's crazy, in my opinion. What's up, Spades? Oh, I think another design philosophy thing that I was gonna touch on is the fact that they call like light offense, medium midfield, heavy defense is also just, to me, it's like a sign that they're like, we know what the players will do, and we're gonna design these specific characters for these specific uses, which to me, first of all, is completely wrong. I mean, you can use all 3 classes in all 3 ways, but I think it's just kind of indicative of how I feel like they're kind of, I don't know. It's like, let people figure out how to play the game. Don't try to prescribe us that this class is for that, this class is for this. I don't know. Cranking that all the way up, though, made Juts much more controllable, though. I still don't know what it does, but it felt way better. Yeah, I didn't really mess around with it. I probably should have. I mean, when I go back and I watch this VOD, I'm like, this looks like Tribes, bro. I'm capturing flags. I'm schmoovin'. I mean, I'm not schmoovin' that fast, but I'm still schmoovin'. Okay, can I pause this moment? I feel like this moment is such a good indication of how floaty this game is. Dude, you overshoot the flag and just like 1, 2. It takes just like seconds to fall. Like, am I crazy, or was every other Tribes game the physics, or like you have way more gravity. Gravity pulls you down so much faster. Oh, this is also something that I'm sure they're gonna change, I hope. But fucking killed me is that you can fly straight through these goddamn flags and not pick it up if you're not like literally sliding on the ground. I would like to see somebody actually do a video where you compare like every Tribes game, like jet fully up and fall, and like first of all see how high you can go, and then see how long it takes you to fall also. I'd be curious to see that. That's probably really easy to do. If I wasn't lazy, I could probably do it right now. I think in this game, they literally just don't have the same acceleration. What's the acceleration for gravity on the planet? Like 8.4 meters per second or whatever, or some shit. Somebody knows this. But in this game, it feels like it's like it's like half of what like gravity on Earth should be like. 9.6 meters per second. Yeah, it feels like it's like half. And I think you need gravity for routing to be really fun, right? Like in this game, you get going fast by using your thrust pack if you're light armor. And going down like 2 or 3 hills will get you a little bit faster. As a medium armor, you have to disc jump 3 times. But like previous Tribes games, you had a lot more jets to go up, and then gravity took you down a lot faster. Like I would be so happy if they did that if they just did that. Give us 50% more jet pool and, make gravity stronger. That could be an interesting mechanic, a map set in gravity anomaly field where the gravity isn't static. I mean, sure, or just have different gravity on different maps. That could be interesting. One more design decision that I didn't see very many people talking about, in fact, I think a lot of people probably didn't even realize this, is look at my jets here. Look at how slow they're regenning, right? While I'm in the air. I'm sure all of you know this, but now look how much faster they regen when you're skiing, when you're on the ground. So people kept memeing early on that Ares doesn't want us to fly high. That's why they didn't give us jets. He just wants us to be on the ground. And I'm like, nah, that's nonsense. Tribes is about being in the air. It's about flying. It's about, jetting. You guys are crazy. Like, you guys are like, that's conspiracy theory shit. But then I saw this design decision where your jets regen twice as fast while you're skiing than in the air. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Maybe they do want us to be on the ground a lot more in this Tribes game. And then that begs the question, like, why? I don't feel like it's terrible. Like once I realized that and realized how I could use that to my advantage. Basically in other Tribes games, when you're coming down a slope, you generally want to retain as much energy as possible, right? Because you're not going to get any extra energy while you're skiing. So you have to make sure you have enough jets to get over the next hill. But in this game, there's basically 0 penalty for using all of your jets while you're in the air. So I don't actually hate that. I think it's fine. It could be fine. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But one thing I did realize is like when you're skiing on the ground in a bowl, that was the best time for me to use my thrust pack as a light armor, was actually at the bottom of the bowl. Instead of boosting up, using my thrust pack to boost up over a hill and then go like this, because you're not regenning your jets fast. You just go down the hill and then boost as soon as you get to the flat part. By the time you're up over the next hill, you already have your jets back. So that was interesting. I didn't mind that, actually. Honestly, I hated T3 the first 2 minutes because it's different, but it's more approachable and gives more strategic potential. Let's be real, Tribes is 25-year-old franchise for a reason. I agree that it needs to be reinvented, but what makes you say it has more strategic potential? I'd like to hear your reasoning for that. Also, I sort of take issue with the notion that it's more accessible or more approachable. Yes, hitting spacebar does get you going like a certain base speed right off the bat, which I think is good. Like I'm actually 100% for that. In fact, I think I'd like to see that in every Tribes game. That's nice. Like you can get going, you can move a little bit just by pressing space, which I guess it makes it slightly more approachable. But I think for me, the lack of jet, you have such a small jet pool in this game compared to every other Tribes. To me, that doesn't make it more approachable. That makes it less approachable. Because if I'm trying to learn how to ski and I can't even get over a single hill. So I was watching Fatality stream this game. If you don't know who Fatality is, he was the very first esports, like famous esports player of all time. He played Quake, Quake 2, Quake 3, Painkiller. He was the first poster boy of esports ever. I saw Fatality streaming this game 2 days ago, he was stuck to the fucking ground. He was moving so goddamn slow, it was insane. I honestly think if he was playing any other Tribes game, he would have been moving faster than he was in this game. So I take a little bit of issue with it being like 100% more approachable. The problem with reinventing Tribes is nobody wants anything more than just make X in a newer engine where X is either T1 or T2. But even if the numbers are exactly identical, the fact of a different engine immediately makes it not X, which will be pushed back on. I still have a Fatality sound card. Yeah, a lot of us did. It's like, Zakam, I think people stopped saying I want Tribes 1 with better graphics. Because we got that. It was called Midair. Well, arguably better graphics. Like, Midair kind of looked like shit, to be honest. Let's not say better graphics, but, like, Midair was basically Tribes 1 in a new engine, right? And, like, that did not work. And it's not just Tribes 1 and Tribes 2. There's probably more people who want Tribes Ascend, too, frankly. So that's another thing to consider. The counter argument to what I just said, I will bring up BattleBit again. BattleBit is literally Battlefield, but with all of the gameplay we wanted and horrible graphics. Like, BattleBit is the worst looking video game I have played since before Tribes. Yet, it was wildly popular when it came out because it had great proximity, great voice chat. It had every feature that Battlefield's ever wanted. It was cheap to buy. It was very accessible to play. It allowed for bigger maps and bigger skirmishes than Battlefield has in a long time. So, shit, man. If Battlefield can do it, maybe Tribes can do it too. Bit was just Battlefield, but like everything that the community wanted, and it did really, 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 really well. I think proximity voice chat was a huge part of that because it was just fun and funny to play with friends. So I wonder, like, how can we take lessons from BattleBit and just make Tribes fun to play with your friends? Just like make a solid Tribes with a solid engine, a non-egregious business model, make it cheap, which I think they're talking about selling this game for $30, so not that cheap. Like, I wonder if that's a path forward for the game. Tribes Ascended did it right in the beginning. It was one of the most played free-to-play games on Steam. Was it? I mean, yeah, I guess that was a different era. Probably having like 5,000 concurrent players was a big deal back then. Was it really one of the most popular games on all of Steam at the time? I guess it was. There were barely any free-to-play games back then. Like, League of Legends only came out a couple years earlier. How's it compared between Ascend? Basically, what you need to know is that this is a super early alpha test, and it's very, very unpolished. There's a lot of bugs. There's a lot of issues. Balance is horrendous. Like, playing light armor is like pointless. Like, medium armor is just better at everything than light armor. Certain weapons like the grenade launcher and the honor fuser are busted. I feel like the physics needs a lot of work. The maps need a lot of work. But the plus side to all of that is that Prophecy has only been working on this game for literally a couple of months, which is like almost impossibly a small amount of time. Like, I'm sure that they had some of the bones in, but like Prophecy was working on a different game called Dead Zone up until like a month ago. I think they announced that they were going to shift their entire focus to Tribes, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago at most. So maybe they had some devs working on this behind the scenes, but it's only been their main focus for literally a couple weeks. It's crazy. So that is simultaneously a good and a bad thing. It means that they rushed this game out super fast without polishing it at all. But it also means that they work really fast. Like, shocking how quickly they're updating this game. Every week for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, the game has been drastically better with drastically more content. So look, if Prophecy can keep that pace of development up, then all of these issues I'm talking about now could be resolved. The things that worry me the most about this game are some strange design decisions that I think come all the way from the top. That's one concern. Number two concern is the engine itself. Like, they need to get this engine so much better than it is right now to support large teams. And then really 3 is, how do they get mass market appeal with Tribes? Like, Tribes has never been a big game. So what are they going to do differently in this game that brings in not just, because like there's so much this is Tribes 3. There are enough Tribes veterans on the planet who think so fondly back on playing Tribes 1, Tribes 2, Tribes Vengeance, Tribes Ascend. There's enough of those people to sell tens of thousands of copies of this game. And if that happens, I'll be happy. Like, it'll be fantastic to get another Tribes game that has a quote-unquote large player base. But tens of thousands of players is actually peanuts in today's market. And even if they sold, let's say, 50,000 copies at $30 a piece, that's not enough to pay for 20 developers' salary for a year. Like, that's a couple $1,000,000. Like, that's not that much money. So they're going to need more than that, and they're going to need microtransactions to be really strong. So those are my big concerns, really. Just like, number one, some design decisions which I really disagree with. Number two, the engine itself and how it feels and performs. And then number three is like, how do they get mass market appeal? But yeah, I mean, I'm being very negative in this stream. That's not because I'm like a downer. Like, I'm actually the opposite. Like, I'm the forever optimist. I want Tribes to succeed more than anything. And I'm going to be here to support in every way that I possibly can. I am by no means a fucking influencer. I have some voice on social media, whatever. I will stream. I will cast. I will organize tournaments. I will play competitive. I will play every day if this game does well. I will support this game as much as I possibly can. The only reason I'm being so harsh is because I love Tribes and I want to see it succeed. So, but yeah, I guess to answer your question, Wes, by the way, how does it compare? It's not really comparable. It's just such a raw and unpolished game at this point. Physics wise, it's closest to Tribes Ascend. Like, I actually like the physics better than Tribes Ascend. I'll say that. So we're on more solid bones than Tribes Ascend, in my opinion, already. Is there no self damage? There's no fall damage, which is, I don't know if that's gonna it's gonna stay that way or not. But right now I'm using a perk called Egocentric that makes disc jumps do like 20% the damage that they normally would. So there is self-damage, but not that much when you have Egocentric, which I think is almost a must for cappers still. I wish that, like, I don't want disc jumping to be a must for cappers ever. I just don't like it, like, personally. But I didn't hate it in this beta. It's not a must either, but it does help a lot. I only played Tribes Ascend casually, but tend to play more competitively if I play a game for a while. Yeah, also Ascend didn't have a ranked mode, right? Hopefully this game is big enough to have ranked because I am addicted to the ranked grind. I love that shit, dude. It keeps me coming on every single day to have a good ranked system. Zekam loved Survivalist on defense. Yeah, I didn't mess around. I'll be honest, I didn't play defense a single minute in my 10 or so hours of the alpha so far. I have only capped. Mainly just because I want to learn the physics. I'm traditionally a defense player in Tribes 1 and Midair and other Tribes games in the past, but I've only capped so far. How many tiers should ranked have, and what would the highest ranked tier be called? Shit, dude. You're going to have to help me with that one. I don't know. I mean, every ranked game these days has iron, bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, and then whatever else. So, fucking elite, imperial elite. Call them elites. Being able to fully recover health and ammo after a kill made defense a lot more viable in terms of scoring more kills per death. Yes, but is that balanced? I don't know how balanced that is. Also, inventory stations. If we are going to have base assets, generators, and inventory stations, maybe just put the inventory stations closer to the flag stand. Also, one thing I didn't talk about either is how far you spawn away from the flag stand. That shit drove me nuts, dude. I was like, I'm going to play defense. And then I respawned so I could go play defense. And then somebody grabbed our flag and I went to go chase them. And then they died and it returned. Or they capped or whatever. Then I respawned again to go play defense. And then someone grabbed our flag. And I chased them. And it got returned. Or they capped. And I literally couldn't get to the stand before it was off our stand. I don't know why there's no spawn points on the base in this game. How does comp play generally work in Tribes? No Tribes game has been big enough during the era of ranked gameplay to have a proper ranked queue like Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Dota, League, etc. So no Tribes game has actually had comp built into the game itself. So comp has basically been, let's play pickups, like let's organize pickups in Discord. or let's have tournaments through like services like TWL. So basically the community has been the driving force behind comp in every Tribes game. Being able to select a fixed spawn point would be nice. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather them just give us the option to choose, or, I mean, honestly, it should probably be random. Like, that's true, right? Like, Ascend, Vengeance all had random spawn points too, right? I think there's a reason, because like if you didn't have random spawn points, then if you're coming home as a capper, like you could just chuck the flag to where you know you're gonna spawn or whatever. I don't know. I think I'm more interested in 12v12 pugs rather than official 5v5 ranked. Honestly, dude, I think 12v12 was way more fun than 5v5 in this. And I think part of that is due to the maps. Like, this map is just better in my opinion. Part of that is due to the fact that every single 5v5 I played was 5v3 or 5v4 or sometimes 5v2. Like, there was so many issues with joining that playing 5v5 just felt like a crapshoot, whether you're going to actually get big teams. So, however, if I'm high res and I'm watching this playtest and I'm like seeing what people reacted to and enjoyed and had fun with and wanted and asked for, I'm like almost sure that 12v12 was 10 times more popular, even though it was not the default option. So I believe that, I think they've already mentioned that they want to try even 32 versus 32 at some point. So first of all, they're going to do bigger games in the future. Second of all, I think they will continue to iterate on 12v12 and make 12v12 maps. Third of all, I think 5v5 is going to go away. I think it's going to go up to 7v7 for the small game mode. The way that the physics work in this game, like midair works 5v5 because the physics are so responsive and snappy, and you have so much, gravity is so much stronger, and you have so much more jets that you can have 5v5 feels crazy and hectic, and there's action everywhere. But this game is floaty and slower. I don't even know if 5v5 on a smaller map even makes sense. So I would take the current 5v5 maps and think about 7v7 there. And then I think we'll continue to see iteration on 12v12. But I totally agree. 12v12 was way more fun. Oh, but I wanted to show this point because this bugged me so much about the physics. This is just a small, like, very specific example of an issue I have with the physics. I'm jetting down, and then I use my thruster forward. I'm holding ski, and then I just bounce. Dude, this happened to me so many times. This 100% one of my most annoying bugs in this playtest was like every other tribes I ski down this hill. In this tribes I fucking just, it's random though. It's like sometimes I ski down and sometimes I bounce. Oh, that shit annoyed me so much. Huh, can I post pictures in here? Sir, this is Twitch chat. I mean, it kind of just happened there. Oh no, you didn't have to do it to them like that. Oh no. Oh fuck, dude. Oh no. Can we all agree on one thing? All of the pistols are wildly underpowered. We all agree on that, right? How do you feel about flag grabs? Can you be more specific? Oh, specifically the range. Yeah. You have hilariously long range laterally. Like you were like 2 to 3 meters away from the flag and you will pick it up or return it or cap it laterally. But if you're like 7 inches off the ground, you don't pick that shit up. So just make it a square hitbox, bro. That's it. And I think the entire vertical model of the flag needs to be interactable. Like the entire thing needs to be a hitbox as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you need to be able to pick up the flag with your big toe. Maybe not. Maybe you need to pick it up from your shin or some shit, but like the vertical hitbox needs to be several times larger than it is right now, easily. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Especially on this map where, you know, sometimes your route just sends you an arc over the flag, and because you're so floaty and there's very little gravity compared to other tribes games, it's not like you can adjust downwards anyway, so yeah, you're just gonna sail through that shit. But Sin was there on the very first playtest with me. One thing you have to give them credit for is this game is changing and improving wildly fast. Like, think about like even Tribes Ascend, you know, at its heyday when it was actually a popular game. Like, it still took a long time to get a new map or a new gun or whatever. They're just shitting the shit out, which, you know, for better or for worse, but I think it's mostly for the better, that they're just, those devs are working their asses off. There must be some kind of crunch going on, dude. because they are crunching to get this game out. Have you talked about armor classes and how light has literally zero use? Yes. Medium armor is better. In fact, I can just go to my other VOD, because this day I didn't even try medium armor until my most recent session, and I discovered just how much better it is in every conceivable way. It's not even funny. I don't really like how they like lock different weapons to different classes too. Like if light armor had a grenade launcher, dude, it'd be so much nicer. Also, give us chain guns, dude. We can't chase without chain guns, man. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I think the devs are listening, right? Like, I'm hopeful because they're moving fast and they're listening. I don't know, just there's so many weird things in this game. Like speed caps for every class having different speed caps. Like the standoff mechanic where like they don't like standoffs, so they just make it so if both teams have the flag, then you have a 2-minute timer, and then standoffs are over. Like there's all these little weird things that they added to this game, which, you know, even just calling light offense, medium midfield, heavy defense, like it just shows like a fundamental lack of I don't want to say understanding. Like there's people on the team who play tribes, but like I think it shows a fundamental lack of being on the same page, I guess, with what the community generally wants. Was chain gun 100% accurate in TA? I forgot about that. Yeah, the chain gun in midair is awesome. It's so good. It's like, it's really, really strong, but it's really, really balanced at the same time. So yeah, this is my point, Crowbeard. 100%, you absolutely nailed it. They added the standoff rule because there were games where people just rabbit around forever. Or, you know, potentially turtle, right? Both of those things are fixable without giving again, I've talked a lot today about band-aid fixes where you make these tweaks because XYZ, because rabbiting is too strong. So let's make a standoff rule. You can fix rabbiting being super strong by giving light armor a chain gun and a grenade launcher, like they have in every other tribes game. You can fix standoffs and rabbiting being super, super strong by making disc jumps stronger, like making disc jumps, like disc jumps having way more impulse. You can fix standoffs in a lot of ways. To me, it feels like a reactive, like band-aid fix. Like, oh, it feels bad to chase somebody who's rabbiting too much, which it does. Like it's almost impossible to catch somebody right now. But, oh yeah, this is a funny bug. How about that one right there? And by the way, because we can't pick up the flag with our toes, can't pick up the fucking flag. You do not need a chain gun to fix that. Light with Nitron. Yeah, sure, give lights Nitrons. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Nitron in general. In Tribes 3, like the radius of that Nitron is absolutely giant. In this VOD, you'll see a couple times where I just absolutely fucking... I demolished Slush. I think I fucked Slush up a few times with the Nitron. I think I'm okay with a Nitron as long as it's like really difficult to use. The way it is right now, it's so incredibly easy to use that it's like, I felt bad using it. Every time I use it on somebody and like because the radius was so gigantic, I felt guilty. I felt dirty. Nitron should be flat out removed. I mean, if the Nitron remains, like literally give one and make the radius like super small, like, or make it so it needs to be a direct hit. Like if Nitron had to be a direct hit, then I wouldn't feel bad about Nitroning somebody, and I wouldn't feel bad about getting Nitron because of, they deserve it. They hit a good shot. There should be AoE, but not a big one. I guess, but what about make it direct? Make it direct only. Like, it's such a powerful thing to be able to knock the flag out of somebody's hands. Like, the flag is the most important thing in tribes. So, like, it shouldn't be easy to just get it out of somebody's hands. Yeah, I mean, Crowbeard, that's maybe not a bad idea. So like you could use a Nitron, but only if it was super close range, because Tribes 1, Tribes 2, Tribes Vengeance, especially Tribes Vengeance and Midair, you can't really throw your grenades very far at all. Like you can throw them maybe 5-10 meters. I guess Tribes 1, like they inherited a lot of your momentum, so you could throw them pretty far. So the previous VOD I was showing was me light armor capping on 12v12. And this is me medium armor capping on 12v12. And you'll see really quickly that there's like almost no fucking reason whatsoever to light armor cap. Like, yes, you can go a little bit faster. Yes, you do have a little bit more jets, but the amount of survivability and like killing ability, fragging ability, the fact that you have a grenade launcher, the fact that you have nitrons just makes medium better at everything than light armor, except for very, very, very rare cases. Like, maybe light armor is better for rabbiting, because rabbiting is very, very strong in this game, I will say. Oh, I think I have the flag here or some shit. Oh, I do have the flag. I'm an idiot. I'm still hoping for larger maps. Crowbeard, I will say, like, originally I was like, nah, give us a tight 5v5, 7v7, maybe 10v10 game. But after playing 12v12, like, it was really fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm down. I don't know. YouTube is just playing random video game music now, guys. I don't know. I already listened to the Tribes 1 and Tribes 2 OST. Should I listen to Tribes 2 OST again? This one is for Slush. Dude, I got some ridiculous nitrons in this stream, and they were all so easy to hit, and it made me feel so dirty. Problem with big teams is always filling them. Yeah, but like, I feel like on a really big map, 12v12 is still a lot of people. So like, have it, maybe it can go up to 32 versus 32, and it's just absolute chaos when it's 32 versus 32. Just put the TA capping music on repeat. No, thank you. No, thanks. When we talked to Eras during the early test, he wanted small team size for the competitive mode. Yeah, but I bet you they're looking at the data from this last playtest and listening to player feedback, and I feel like they're gonna change their minds on that. I'd do 16 versus 16. That'd be tight. I'm for that. Dude, trying to chase this guy with medium armor was fucking rough, dude. This is the one thing that Light is actually good at in Tribes 3. Is rabbiting. Dude, I had such a hard time chasing this guy. Oh, then I hit the fucking base. Sad. I'm still trying to chase him. Oh, I got a hit. I think he just picked up the health pack there. Nice, we got him, baby. All right, I'm trying to find one of these nitrons so I can just illustrate how broken they are. Yeah, Sin, you do bring up a really interesting dichotomy, push and pull between the two factions of tribal warriors. Like, one is mid-air players, Tribes 1 LT players who just want to play sweaty pickups and scrim and play tournaments every single day. That's all we want to do. We want to showcase our skill. We want every single moment to be a pure expression of skill. That, for the most part, that's been my Tribes experience. Like, I've played Tribes casually. I've played base competitive. I played base casually. I've played every Tribes game, and I'm still struggling to figure out where I sit on this dichotomy, because I do want 5v5. I do want to flag, toss the flag back and forth and just have these insane moments every single game. But I had a lot of fun playing 12v12 at the same time. And like, I think it's actually probably right that I think it's actually correct, as much as I don't want to say it, that I don't think 5v5 is going to be the mode that makes Tribes popular again. I think if I had to guess, if you put a gun to my head and said, how do we get Tribes to have 1 million concurrent players in the future? Or I don't know, not 1 million, like, let's say 50,000 concurrent players at some point, be a top 20 game on Steam. I would, again, you're probably broken record if you've been in the stream for a minute, but like, I would look at BattleBit, man. Like, just make a super, super solid giant Tribes game that's really fun to play with your friends, so that friends, and make it really cheap, like $10 or $20. So that like my girlfriend and her gamer friends who like are playing games right now in the other room, I played BattleBit with them for like 2 weeks straight every day. It was so much fun. Like, how do we get Tribes to be like that? I don't know. Having played T2 competitive and TA competitive for a combined 6 years, 5v5 is not the way to go. 5v5 is what you play when there's only 10 players left in the game who play at the same time. I mean, true, but my fondest memories competing in Tribes 1 and Midair were 5v5, I will say. Judge me all you want. I can take it. They actually cut off the Midair Kickstarter backers from the elite crew of Endless 5v5 because they didn't want them there. Yeah, that's funny, because Midair is now like the ultimate. It's the best 5v5 Tribes ever. It's so good. I fucking love Midair, dude. No cap. Like, some of my most fun Tribes memories are playing Midair. Straight up. Midair's great. I love Midair. But that doesn't mean that it's what everybody wants. Like, I feel like even if I poll this chat right now, how many people would prefer 5v5 versus let's say 8 for 8, 8 versus 8, or 10 versus 10. And my chat is probably the most hardcore, like, cross-section of tribes people. Dude, tribes, oh my god. I just imagined tribes with proximity voice chat, where you can hear the enemy team too. Can you imagine a capper coming at you? It's just like, fuck you, bitch, and just like flying past you with the flag. Haha, sucker. Like, imagine if there was like Doppler effect too. So when they're coming at you, their voice is like higher pitch, and then it slows down as they're passing you. Oh my god. Dude, this is how you make tribes popular. Proximity voice chat. I'm fucking telling you. Anyone played Lethal Company here? Doppler shift voices, and the game would go viral. Fuck yeah, it would. Oh my god, that's so funny. What's up, Arnie? I remember when H1Z1 had proximity and the new Stars movie started coming out. I started spoiling it and everyone left me alone. Oh my god, Arnie, you're fucking terrible, dude. Dude, I'm gonna call Erez tomorrow. I don't have his number, but I'll find it. I'm gonna call him tomorrow and say add proximity voice chat if you know what's good for you. Oh my fucking god, that's genius. Yeah, Lethal Company, I guarantee that Lethal Company wouldn't have been half as successful without proximity voice chat. It's what makes the game so good. I'm not even exaggerating. Straight up. Same with BattleBit. Exactly. All right. We got to start a movement. Proximity voice chat for Tribes 3. That's it. By the way, I still can't tell you how bizarre it is for me to utter the words Tribes 3. I never fucking thought I'd say those words, man. Look at this. I'm about to nitro on this guy. Ready? Okay, that was a pretty good nitro. Actually, that was perfectly timed. Holy shit. I'm a god. Fucking god. I'm a fucking god. Holy shit. Can you imagine moderating that shit in a community as volatile as Tribes? You can just use AI these days, dude. If somebody starts blasting the N-word or some shit, just ban that person forever. Fuck them. By the way, I suck at hitting mid-airs in this game, and I legitimately think it's because the discs don't have inheritance. I'm so used to every Tribes game having inheritance that I could, like, even after 10 hours, I couldn't get used to the discs not having inheritance. It was kind of mind-fucking me. I, like, could not hit mid-airs for shit. Why didn't I use the X-Diffuser then? Because I don't like the idea of the X-Diffuser. I don't think it should exist. Just give me one fucking disc launcher, bro. I don't know. I should have tried the X-Diffuser. You're right. It's just me being not wanting to try new things. I mean, I played light armor for, like, the first, like, couple hours of the playtest. And then until I finally realized that mid-armor was like 10 times better. But I don't want my discs to be 100% inheritance either. Or do I? Are they 100% in Tribes 1? I forget. Does anyone know the answer to that? It's 100% in T1? Okay, shit. I should be using the XD. Damn. Okay. The next playtest, I'm going to use the XD then. I don't know why I didn't. Just lazy, I guess. 75% in T1? Oh, I did it again, bro. All right, let's see how big this radius is. Pretty big radius, dude. It's a pretty fat ass radius. Thanks for the follow, JPL24. Appreciate. Yeah, I wanted 50% TA. Either way, it's better than none. Yeah, I might have to try the XD. But like, what is? I know we don't give a shit about lore, really. I mean, I sort of do, but like, what is the rationale between some guns have inheritance and some don't? Like, it just feels inconsistent. Like, I feel like this is gonna sound really mean, but I feel like High Res and Prophecy, they just don't have a strong POV when it comes to like gameplay. By the way, that was a total accident to hit that, and it was like super slow. It looked super slow, but it actually worked really well. Yeah, I just feel like Prophecy and High Res never had a very strong sense of like design philosophy. It's just like kind of all over the place. Anyway, like I thought I was gonna curve to the left of this thing on the base, but I hit it and I definitely lose all my speed. But because I'm medium armor and I have egocentric, I can just disc jump with almost zero penalty. And like everyone's too bad at this point to like chase. So that actually, frankly, this was the fastest way for me to get home with this flag was to hit that signpost. Oh, but it's gonna take forever for me to land. And oh, I got boosted. Oh shit, that fucker. I will say it. I won't apologize. I like Vengeance more than Ascend. I will say this, all Tribes games had their own thing. Yeah, true. Truth. Never heard truer words, my dude. Honestly, I just want to fly. Give me the sky again. Yes, for the love of God. The first two alpha tests, everyone that I talked to agreed that the jet pool was just way too low, too limited. You just can't really fly straight up. Like, you fly up like maybe 20 meters and then you're done, unless you're skiing. Yet, Everyone gave that feedback that I talked to. And then this playtest comes by, they improved the game in 50 ways, but they could have just adjusted a number, and they didn't adjust that number for some, I don't know why. Next few playtests are very important, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Yes, I will always have my bias for T2. I just want them to take what made tribes and incorporate the great things from them all. Yes, the thing is that means very different things to very different people. But yes, I don't want speed caps, right? Like Tribes 2, when it first came out, had horrendous speed caps that were ridiculously slow. Tribes 2 also has like more deployables than God. Like with these 12v12 teams, like just fucking chaos. I don't want Tribes 2 with better graphics. I don't want Tribes 1 with better graphics either. Like I want something that captures the essence but makes it more accessible yet retains the same high skill ceiling. But most of all, they just need to have a good business model, good marketing strategy, and it needs to be fun to play with your friends. If they can do those three things, then I think there is a small chance, a remote chance, that Tribes could one day be a top 25 game on Steam. Maybe. Getting in the top, if Tribes 3 could be in the top 25 on Steam, I would be over the moon with excitement. That would be amazing. Maybe it's possible. But look, I don't want this to be like a salty stream. I want Tribes 3 to be amazing. I have a lot of strong opinions, as do all of us. I want Prophecy to do their best. And I want us as a community to be we don't have to kowtow to them. We don't have to pretend a shit sandwich tastes good. I would say this beta or this playtest, kind of a shit sandwich, but like with some redeeming features. And you know what? It's not a shit sandwich. It's better than that. It was a shit sandwich a few weeks ago, and now it's just a mediocre sandwich, which gives me hope that in 2 weeks, it'll be a good sandwich. In 2 months, it'll be a great sandwich. And then we'll launch this thing in like 6 months, and it'll be awesome. So that's the hope.